I hope we have been enjoying this time so far. I know I have. It's been incredibly enlightening so far. Now, one of the pieces we've heard through many different conversations so far that everyone is looking for one of a few things. One of these things is the connection and the way forward. You know, something that goes beyond just commemorating these days, but something that goes to the day in, day out interactions that we have locally in Sierra Leone or in Maroon Town in Jamaica. One of the things that we at African Curator have been trying to do is to install historical markers in different places that are related to this one journey. One of the places that we installed it last year was at Zion Methodist Church, which is located on Wilberforce Street in Freetown, not too far from Maroon Church. Zion Methodist Church is one of the oldest, if not the oldest, church in Freetown. I think there might be another one in Waterloo, but Zion is well known for having been there since 1792, when the congregation came from Nova Scotia. In Nova Scotia, where they came from in Halifax, that's also not too far away from where the Maroons went to when they also went to Nova Scotia. So Freetown has really served as a strong central point for a lot of these connections to come and meet. And so far, our work with Zion Church, we've been able to create this marker that you're seeing. And we were able to construct the stand that's right in front of Zion Church and include the marker there. So this was unveiled by the mayor of Freetown and the church clergy, which, you know, it was an incredible moment. It's not something that's quite common in Freetown, so being able to mark this historic moment and this historic site was something that I think, hopefully, if we're able to continue this, whether it's in Sierra Leone, in Freetown, or beyond, it can help to connect the local communities that live around these markers, around these historic sites, as well as, you know, people who may not have that ability or opportunity to go and see the site. In each of these sites, each of these markers, we include QR codes in our efforts to try to add technology to the experience. So at a particular marker, you may have your mobile phone. You know, you might be at the marker at Zion Church in Freetown with your mobile phone, and you're able to then connect with another marker somewhere else in Jamaica, hopefully at some point, or Nova Scotia at some point. So we do hope that in time, we will be reaching out to the leadership at St. John Maroon Church as well to see if we're able to install a similar marker there, and hopefully something as well in Maroon Town, equipped with the QR codes and the technology to try to sustain some of these connections that we've been talking about throughout this session.
Perfect.
So definitely look forward for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll plan.
Yes. Yes.
It's our hope that we'll also, as Akinele says, install it in somewhere in Flagstaff, in Jamaica, Melbourne. Get ready for that trip, because that with the technology, the stories that we've had from Chief Michael, could go further than this forum. That's what we're hoping, and that's why we're putting the technology in there. His story that he told today would be on our site, but with this QR code, it will go further to younger folks in the community, Maroon communities all around. So those are the immediate benefits, and in addition to the connections. So we're looking towards that. So we're going to go into a very interesting section. This we are going to spotlight a number of folks, have a conversation going, and you'll feel free, if you have a question, put it in the chat. That will prompt us, the moderators, to act on it. We're calling Akinele, yes, we'll spotlight Melbourne, Chief Michael. We also, I think there's a conversation going on the chat that's quite interesting. If you spotlight me, what else? Michael is in there too. Chief Michael.
Yeah, Michael will be coming on. He has to turn on his video. I've asked
okay,
him.
Please turn on your video if you'd like to be spotlighted. If anybody would like to be spotlighted in this conversation, or you want to be part of this conversation, let us know in the chat, and so we will include you. Especially if you have something interesting about this Maroon Jamaican story to add. We'll ask everybody to do their best to keep the contributions to like 2-3 minutes, just so that we can have everybody else say something. And I will, as soon as we get the chief on, I will share something that I've been holding back for the longest time. I'm bursting at the seams to tell it. In the meantime, let's give a shout out to Nelly in Jamaica with hi there, Nelly, how are you? Nelly is born Sierra Leonean, currently in Flagstaff, in Trelawny town, Flagstaff, formerly Trelawny town. How are you? Okay, good. Thank you very much. Hello there, how are you, Nelly? Well, Kusho.
I'm for sure. Howdy, buddy. You know when last meet up Creole? Oh no, thank you. Lord Jesus, I've been here a long time. Why I read the Creole? Me Sept sit down for listening. The last time I saw Maroon Church was 1977.
Wow.
And I grew up in Waterloo Street, 11 Waterloo Street with Grandma Pratt. That's where I grew up. Yes. I'm an SBS news reader. You see me?
You live to be 100 and plus.
You know, I'm 102.
Yes, Janet Rose.
Janet Rose, my cousin.
Okay.
Now we all go school. Me and Ellie picking.
Okay.
Spend time in Gambia and then England and then I'm in Jamaica. Yeah. Okay. When I read the cry, I one boss cry. Thank you. When somebody mentioned cutting tree, I was cry. So no, thank you. It's been a blessing and a joy. Thank you so much. I came here to represent my grandfather, Papa Shaw, in the post office. I came to Jamaica to do some work and represent Grandpa. And and I'm still here doing the work. How long are you there? I've been here 10 years.
Nobody
come. I don't wait for enough for can take me.
Fine, good.
You
know,
Melbourne, the water.
Yeah. So
yes.
Chief, I
need to be coming back for Treaty Day next year.
So, because I leave the wait for you.
Yes, Treaty Day, March 1st there.
Yes.
March 1st.
March 1st. By God,
celebration this time. We need to be there.
We go plan them. Yeah.
Me definitely did the history with Melbourne.
Edgar will go.
Yeah. I was saying that I was something I wanted to share with you all.
Yes, please.
Please, and Chief, you guys have seen another screen of mine. I have charted our story of our family. I'm the family historian, and you can see with very quickly, we were able to get the records of our 6 generations ago that left from Trelawny town, Thomas Morgan and John Morgan, with Mary Morgan and one more daughter. The box to your left is their belongings that was recorded. Wow. I can see the 9 petticoats of Mary Morgan that she took with her to Nova Scotia. And so it's quite an interesting story because I am connected to the Maroon story. We are family on both sides of my family in very
exactly on both sides.
Yes, in fact, my mother's side, they are in Maroon Town, Percival Street. They can at the junction of Percival Street and Pademba Road, and Maroon Church is just right there. And quite interestingly, I'm also connected to the Nova Scotian side, and so the whole story of the Maroons and the Black loyalists is very interesting one. I was really touched when Chief let me understand that that in Jamaica, the side that I thought was tied to enslaved community, I'm learning today for the first time that no, they have a rich history way back before the British arrived and wrote about it. And quite interestingly, you got me to go look back in the books that I had read, and I could see where the distortion started, where they do not make it clear that there were the African communities there long before the British. It was kind of distorted, and I appreciated that. So we will tell the story, and this is the first real connection just coming out of this for me. And I know they're there for others. So I welcome others to share theirs and be part of this conversation. Thank you.
And I too hope that that we could create a museum between Trelawny Town and Sierra Leone. That we could establish because within Trelawny Town, Flagstaff, we do have a lot of artifacts. We have not done a formal archaeological documentation. We have a lot of British artifacts, but a lot of things that we want to preserve, that we have been working years to preserve these things that is in the ground. And we know where all the other towns were within by 1795. There were three distinct towns that makes up Trelawny Town: Old Cudger Town, Fury Town, and the original location of Trelawny Town itself that is now renamed Flagstaff. And I think that it would be very important for both communities to formulate one proposal between these communities to establish a formal museum. And when people find artifacts, we could give them royalties, over the year if they die gone, their ancestors inherited. And so I think we'll speak a lot more on this tomorrow of where we expect our communities to evolve based on what we call in Jamaica the Mining Act. We know that the diamond that is found in Sierra Leone has been sold, and the recompense of the person who find it. It's very unfortunate that that the distortion of our story has not allowed us to access our indigenous inheritance of being owners of the land, because in Jamaica we only own 6 inches of the topsoil, and our indigenous rights. I think Mama G, who would have the opportunity of being to the United Nations and so forth, that we need, everywhere Mama G and the leadership in Charlestown, Scottsall, Moortown, Accompong, we need to form a unity amongst our communities to to foster one unity of preserving our intellectual knowledge, to preserve our heritage, to try to fight colonialism in terms of changing the present laws that is on the books, you know, to try to amend these laws for the benefit of our people, or, you know, for generations to come. You know, in our community, bauxite mining is one big thing, but the people also are a big thing in the preservation of the natural resources. And so we look forward in creating alternative livelihoods for the residents, you know, through ecotourism, through schools, visiting exchange programs and so forth. And I think we'll elaborate a lot more on that tomorrow, about, you know, our idea from Trelawny Town, Jamaica, in where we think we should be going. And, you know, I mean, Maroon blood run deep. So, you know, nobody can say, you know, a lot of people say, in our community, there are people who say, I'm not no Maroon because Maroon capture people and give back to the British. Now, a lot of people are becoming more proud, knowing that they were not just enslaved Africans, but they now can be knowing that we were kings and queens, and we were uprooted, and we had people who stood up for us and form our own governments. We look forward to have our own health system, our own, you know, so much other things to be doing. And I think that through the United Nations or through funding from areas, you know, not just from the government of Jamaica or Sierra Leone, but international bodies that can assist us in preserving our heritage, to teach the schools, to have school programs, you know, to foster more interest in our youths, in their heritage, knowing that they were not just slaves, but, you know, to foster them in growing, being proud of who they are. I think, you know, my dad was actually a British, but my mom is a true Maroon, and so I have the best of both worlds. I wish I was dark like Mr. Richards there. I would have deported me that time from Jamaica, you know, and send me home. But we so look forward. I look forward to tomorrow's symposium, and I really want to say a happy anniversary to all Sierra Leoneans in their 230 year of celebrations, and big up to Pastor Richards. I could say your church is one of the only ones I've hear like reggae music playing in the background.
I knew you could.
That says a lot, you know.
It says a lot.
You know, and everybody send greetings to you, Mr. Richards. They remember a kissy thing that you did.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Right now, I'm not on the island of Jamaica, but my spirit is always there, and you know, I'll make the time tomorrow to contribute again to this symposium. I thank you very much, and I'm so looking forward. Blessings, my brothers.
Brother Michael, tomorrow, are you going to talk tomorrow about the Mary Brown connection?
Yes.
Okay, so I won't say anything. I'll let you do the talking tomorrow.
yes. It came across, you know.
Yes.
Man, I tell you that this link that we have, you know.
I will give the back tomorrow. I'll give the backstory to it, and then they'll understand why I said what I said today.
Okay.
Yeah.
We very much look forward, you know, and thank you so much, Mr. Garber. You know, thank you, Mama G, for being there and
yes,
being in that link, you know, within you know, Charlestown, and you know, and my job is to work to you know, no longer we can separate. Nobody's good, but I take a good part of every leadership to formulate one thing, you know, and it is always, you know, very as a young leader.
Good.
So,
please.
You know,
the Maroon connection is very strong. One of the things that I did find out was that on my maternal grandmother, on her birth certificate, her father was classed as a Maroon. So we know we have Maroon blood in us as well. So, so it does, the connections just keep coming.
I am on my way to Andalusia, the history of Andalusia.
You know.
There's a book by Dr. Sultana Afras. Yeah,
Okay.
Dr. Sultana offers from Moors to Marinage.
Okay.
That's a very good one. And we can also look at a book called Before Columbus by Ivan Van Satima. And we can also look at another book called The Iron Thorn that was written by a Jamaican, Kerry Robinson. Yeah.
I would like to say to you all that you've dropped some nuggets. There are opportunities on the UNESCO Heritage Front to advance from the Maroon Church relic all the way to bring this Trelawny town forward. So Sierra Leone can actually has that opportunity, I'm aware of right now, to tell that story in their UNESCO Heritage applications. And also, in terms of museum, I will let you know the current mayor has been working on projects that, with the interest of other African Americans to try and have somewhere where these type of stories get told on the Sierra Leonean side. So again, I could see where this connection is continued, kept. They could possibly grow into something. I'm glad we had the opportunity to hear it firsthand, and I know now that African Curator is actually going to curate this and put it on its site, so it will be accessible for others everywhere to list to appreciate all your contributions. So that's how we are keeping the connection going. And tomorrow, well, we know there is a lot more islands in the Caribbean than in Jamaica. Tomorrow is about the Caribbean. We are going to make space for other islands too, and drive the connection between Sierra Leone and the other Caribbeans. But you can tell on this day, on September 30th, with the arrival of the Maroons, it infused an important element in the Freetown society that it has manifested itself in many ways, in culture, in music, in attitudes, in the Creole posture. In the Creole posture, it's manifests itself in very interesting ways that we believe we are proud of, and we know our children should be proud of. But we need to curate these stories for them to hold on to. And that's part, we're just one of the many actors in this space doing that. And we're hoping the process with technology allows more and more of this to happen. So we want you to say thank you on behalf of the team that giving your time today to tell the story on video in your own voice. We know it will stay on long after you have gone on the internet for some kid somewhere to pick up on it. Just like I had to rely on some books to get to this point in my own story. I know your voices will take somebody else in that journey to connect to their roots and form the trails that we need within communities and across communities to be proud of our ancestors. So tomorrow I will I'll take the opportunity just to give everybody a synopsis of what to expect tomorrow. Again, it's actually a 5-hour session to do justice to the Caribbean and Sierra Leone. We would let everybody appreciate Caribbeans living and going over to Sierra Leone and mostly West Africa to make their mark. We'll tell you about Sierra Leoneans going across to different Caribbean islands to make their mark. Important times in the formation of those islands and Sierra Leone. And we'll let you appreciate a story that people don't know. It's an indirect story to Sierra Leone, just like there's an indirect story to of the Jamaicans through Nova Scotia to Sierra Leone. There's indirect story of Jamaicans to the UK onto Sierra Leone, the Windrush group. You'll hear about that. We hope when you get a feel of that, when we move into music, language, culture, it will be a rich celebration tomorrow. And the keynote hopefully would be between both Chief Michael and the Mayor of Freetown, live or recorded. And so we're looking forward to a festive session tomorrow, and we'll finish off with something that's coming down in December. Younger folks have looked at this, our history and our connections. They don't know it fully, but they know through the music that there's something there, through the culture. And so they came together, Sierra Leoneans, African Americans, and Caribbeans, to put together what's called the African Caribbean Festival and take it to Sierra Leone in December. For 6 days, they're going to infuse aspects of the Caribbean and Sierra Leone to in heritage, in music, in artists. They bring in artists to Sierra Leone to join with from the Caribbean, international artists from the Caribbean to join with artists in Sierra Leone and West Africa. They're going to infuse Carnival and the Lantern Parade we know in town. They're going to get us to appreciate music from all ends and hopefully leave a memorial marking that event. So these your folks will be there at the last part of the session to let us appreciate all that. So we hope these connections will just grow like the mighty cotton tree and cover our stories and spread like as far as the cotton seed will go and to us. So thank you very much. Thank you all. Thank you for coming. Akindele, Barbara, do you have any other words to add that I may have missed?
Oh, I think everything has been said. I think that I thank everyone for giving us the opportunity to preserve this, because I think that's going to be the most important thing. It doesn't end here when we all leave. It's preserved. It's you know, something that's left for generations to come. So I thank everyone for being here, and I've learned a lot, and I look forward to continuing on with this learning. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you. Likewise. Sorry, just quickly. I just wanted to say today I feel empowered more than anything else. I think 1787 for me, the Black Post story, I got the power of perspective, how the narrative shift rather than thinking of this small disbanded group of or ragtag group of people, you know, seeing them for who they were, skilled, talented, brave. That was power of perspective for me. 1792 for me was the power of the pen and petition. You know, the man of letters, Thomas Peters and others, that was resonating for me. 1800 for me with the Maroon story, the power of the people. I mean, I've been so inspired and blessed today, just the power of people and to understand how those people moved back and forth and what they carried with them and carry with us till today has just been powerful. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow. Excited, anticipating an enriching time today. Whew, I need to digest everything just from today. Bless you all. Thank you so much for participating. Thank you.
Me too, me too. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody again.
You go coloso, ayumane soche you go coloso.